Welcome to GP Outdoors, where our goal is to make RVers more capable, confident, and prepared. My name is David. Let's get to it. So today we are talking about RV plumbing. It's a big topic. You see it a lot on a lot of the Facebook groups. We get asked a lot of questions about it. I've been out on service calls where people had numerous issues with RV plumbing. It's not put together really great from the factory. We're going to go into why that is and what you can do to be prepared for any plumbing issues you might have in your RV and what you're going to need to correct those. Most of them are not hard to fix with a few tools and a few supplies. So the main type of piping used in your RV on the plumbing is going to be PEX B. That's going to look just like this. So if you have an RV, if you look behind your Nautilus panel, if you've looked anywhere underneath the underbelly and the basement storage, you have probably seen this pipe. The red is going to be all of your hot water lines, the blue is your cold water lines. The issue typically with PEX, PEX is pretty reliable. If it does develop a leak, it's typically not in the PEX tubing itself. This stuff is very flexible. It's very resistant to cracking and breaking, and as long as it's crimped correctly with the correct fittings, it's incredibly reliable. So these are going to be the fittings that are used on your PEX on your RV. So they're basically just little barbed fittings that slip into the PEX, and then for example on your water heater on the back of your toilet, it's going to have this type of fitting that has some flanges on it, so you can just hand tighten it down. So if these fittings leak, let's say on the back of your toilet, for example, where it screws onto your toilet, a lot of people advise to take this off and put Teflon tape on the fitting. That's really not going to do much to stop the leak. These fittings are sealed up with an O-ring inside, and I don't know how good it shows up in the video because it's black, but there's a rubber O-ring inside this fitting, and that is what actually makes the seal when you tighten this fitting down. So if this fitting is leaking, it's going to be the O-ring seal inside that is 99% of the time going to be the problem. A lot of times, if this fitting has been screwed on to the toilet or the water heater or whatever it's attached to for a really long time and it's taken off, that O-ring has been crushed and collapsed, and when you try to reseal it, it doesn't seal great. So anytime you're replacing something that has one of these type fittings attaching your water lines to it, it's really best just to put a new fitting on. It's super easy. This is the bag that I carry that has all of this stuff in it. Everything that we have here is enough for me to take care of just about any plumbing problem I have with my PEX tubing. So how are you going to cut the PEX? So if you have a piece of PEX, you obviously have to cut it. A standard PVC cutter like we have here, this will be fine at cutting it. I'll just cut a little piece off so we can show you. So this stuff is it's not like as thick or as heavy duty as regular PVC, so super easy to cut. They sell cutters that are specifically for cutting PEX that don't have a ratchet handle. The PVC cutters have the ratchet handle. I carry the PVC cutters because sometimes I'm on jobs where I need to cut PVC, and these work for PEX and for PVC, so I use those. But they have just a very cheap clamp style cutter that'll cut this super easy, and all you have to really have is a new fitting, your PEX, carry some pinch clamps with you, show you what one of those looks like. So these are our pinch clamps. So you've probably seen these on your RV, and these things are about as easy as it can get. Let's say we have an elbow that we need to change. We have our piece of PEX. You literally just push it on. You can see there's little barbs here, so you just push it all the way up to the barbs on the fitting, so you can't push it too far in. You know exactly how far it needs to be. Obviously, if you have a big piece of hose, you're going to slide your clamp on first, then put your fitting on. And all you have to do from there is slide your clamp up to where it's just under those barbs, so that you're all the way up on your fitting inside. And then you just have to have a tool like this. So this is a crimp tool for the PEX clamps. This one is not fancy at all. I picked this one up at, I think I picked this one up at Lowe's. They're not expensive, and they are a lifesaver if you have to deal with these PEX clamps. You cannot use a regular hose clamp on this hard PEX pipe. You have to use a PEX clamp. And the way it works, it has jaws on the end. They go right over the top of your fitting. And then this particular clamp tool, you'll need 2 hands. And you basically just squeeze it. You just squeeze it all the way down until it's totally shut. And once this is shut, once the tool is shut, it'll automatically release. And there you go. You have a perfectly crimped PEX fitting. You can see it's nice and tight. I can't rotate it inside that PEX at all. It's clamped good and tight. And I mean, that's all there is to it, to replacing those fittings. Cutting them off, they do make a tool that removes these. I don't have one of those, so they are a little bit difficult to get off, but it is doable. If you don't have a tool to take these off, you can use, if you have a really good pair of side cutters, you can get in there and kind of get it, cut it, twist it. So you can kind of cut it, twist that fitting a little bit to break it free. And once you get that broken off, I mean, these are very, very thin clamps, so they're not super hard to break with side cutters. Obviously, I'm not, if you're buried behind your Nautilus panel in your RV or behind your, underneath in your underbelly, then obviously it's going to be tougher. But once you get the tension off and you get this thing spinning, then you're able to take this thing and peel it back to open it up. And then at that point, you'll be able to get your clamp down enough to work your fitting and get it off. But you can see, even with that clamp removed, it is mushroomed out the remainder of this PEX to the point where even with the clamp off, it is really hard to get that off. I mean, I could do it with, if I got some needle nose pliers and stuck in there and really wiggled it around, I could get it off, but it does a great job at clamping that. There we go. So that is how you use the PEX clamp tool to change any of your fittings. All the fittings I carry with me, I carry elbows. These I keep for like my toilet connection. Our water heater has the same style fitting on the back of it, going to it. I carry straight ones just in case I need to do any modifications, and I don't need the elbow version. I can just carry the straight. I carry, they make these in a ball valve. So this is a shutoff valve basically that you could put in line. So if you wanted to install this, say at your toilet line, so that if something happened you need to shut the water off to your toilet right away, you can just shut it off directly. And then I also carry straight splices in case I have a situation where I need to connect 2 pieces of PEX together. I can do that with the straight ones. Carry elbows. They also do make these in brass. So this is a coupling, PEX coupling that is brass. I've got a couple of these that I had left over from a customer's RV that I did some plumbing modifications to when I was hooking up their tankless water heater. So I do carry them, a few of these in brass as well. So as you can see, it's not hard to change your PEX fittings out like that. Again, if it's leaking, if you think the fitting itself is leaking on the inside, I've seen people try to change or recommend changing out that rubber O-ring, And I'm just here to tell you that it is 10 times faster to just cut that fitting off and crimp a new fitting in place, because that rubber O-ring seal inside is not made to be removed. It sits on a groove inside there. So, I mean, you can take a pick or something like that and get down inside there and work it off. Then you have to take the O-ring out of the new fitting, put it on. I mean, you have a chance if you damage it or nick that O-ring, you're gonna go through a lot of work and a lot of hassle, and you're gonna hook it back up and still have a leak because you damaged the O-ring. Just cut that fitting off and get rid of it and put a new fitting on. It's as easy as what I just showed you right there. There's nothing to it. Expense-wise, a 5-foot stick of the PEX tubing at Lowe's, you can pick it up for under $5 and have it with you all the time on your RV. You can pick up a stick of red, a stick of blue in case you want to keep your stuff color-coded. It's just such great insurance to have with you. The hardest part sometimes is the locations where you have to get in to do it. One downside of the way the manufacturers built some of the plumbing on this, well, a lot of the plumbing on this, is that there's actually also some nylon soft tubing that they use in the plumbing system. I know it's on our Grand Design. I've seen it on a lot of other ones, and they use PEX fittings inside the nylon soft nylon lines, and then they clamp it with a PEX clamp, and those things leak almost 100% of the time. If you're not familiar with what I'm talking about, I'll show you on ours what I had to do. So this is what I'm talking about. You can see I've got some soft nylon lines behind my Nautilus panel, and then they've got it attached with PEX fittings. So they use a piece of regular PEX B here, a T with a PEX fitting, and then soft nylon lines that go to the water pump and other various things. I've had probably 3 of these start to leak on me. I think eventually they're all going to probably leak, but man, these things are a real pain to get off without really disassembling all of your plumbing. So until they start leaking, I'm probably going to leave them alone. I mean, our trailers, we've been in it now for 6 years and they're not leaking yet. I'm sure the day will come I'll have to get in here and redo all this, but it's not super fun to do, especially laying down back in here and fighting with all this tubing. So this is what I'm talking about though when we talk about nylon lines with PEX fittings. That's incorrect, and that shouldn't have been done that way. If they start to leak, you can cut these clamps off. It's not easy to do, but you can cut them off, and then you can put just a regular worm drive clamp, like a regular hose clamp that you would get from an auto parts store, on here to tighten it down. And I've done that on, I think, 3 of my connections. So there you go. That's all you need to be ready for any plumbing issues that you might have, the most common ones anyway on your RV. Grab some fittings. The fittings aren't expensive. They're available. You can get them on Amazon. I'll leave some links in the description of the video to some of the stuff that we're using, to some good. You can buy a PEX clamp kit that's going to have the clamps in it. It's going to have the tool in it. It's going to have a cutter. So you have everything that you need in case you run into an issue where you need to change a fitting while you're out at the campground or on the road. I would caution, if you're going to order them from Amazon, make sure that you're ordering PEX fittings for PEX B. There's PEX A, PEX B, and also I believe there's even PEX C out there. But PEX A fittings, the difference between the A and the B fittings, this is half-inch PEX is what you're 99% going to find on almost everywhere in your RV. They do use some smaller 3/8 stuff in some occasions, but 99% of it's going to be half-inch PEX. If you get half-inch PEX A fittings, the inside diameter of that fitting is a 1/2 inch, which means the outside diameter is larger, and they will not fit inside PEX B tubing. So just make sure that you get PEX B fittings. So get yourself a bag set up with your crimp tool, pair of cutters, some extra PEX hose, all your fittings, couplings, elbows, your straight fittings, elbow fittings, and you'll have just about everything you need to take care of your plumbing. All right, that's going to do it for now. I hope this was informative. If you have any questions, please make sure to leave them in the comments. Try to answer all the questions that we get. We appreciate you guys watching, and we'll catch you guys down the road.